Shit, is that joint live? I didn't even know this joint. Hold on. Oh snap! Hold on. Let me turn this down. I didn't even know this was live. I'm over here rocking out. I'm over here jamming out, and I didn't know this joint was live. Yeah. All right, let me go check the actual video. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yo, RD Vania, what's good, man? EJ Johnson, what's good? Yo, I was all right. So I was about to do my first impressions for Nino Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. And I set it for 4 o'clock. And I'm over here chilling. I went to go get some vitamin water. You know what I mean? I had the game music blasting. You guys can listen to it. You know what I mean? I come back in here and this jump was showing that it was live. I was like, what the hell is going on? Well, anyways, you hear it. Yo, God Eater 3. I guess I'll talk about that after. I'm not gonna hype God Eater 3. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Because the God Eater games, they have something to prove out here. Because their camera angles just is god awful. You know what I mean? They got some cool concepts in their games as far as they're making it much fast paced. It's much more stylized. They know like a Monster Hunter or even like a Tokenin. But the camera is just god awful. You know what I mean? So God Eater 3, I saw that on Twitter and I was just like, man, man, I gotta see this game in action. There was an 18-minute gameplay, but I didn't even look at it. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna see it. Oh, you said big improvement. Oh yeah, then I gotta see that because I know there was an 18-minute gameplay, but I didn't check it out. I was just like, meh, and kept it moving, man. Kept it moving. But yo, enough about God Eater 3. I'll check it out later. This is about Nino Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. I'm about to give you guys my first impressions of the game. I'm about 20 hours in. Let me go and look. I'm about 20 hours into the game. I've been playing like nonstop since Friday. Yeah, I'm 20 hours into the game. 20 hours and 43 minutes to be exact. My character is at level 32, 31, 29, 29. I've been doing a lot of leveling in this game. A lot of leveling up. My character's walking around the world like you could do a typical Nino Kuni game. Found a cool little farming spot. Once you finally get like side quests enabled and those come unlocked, there's like a nice little spot there that you can pretty much farm and level up with some strong, enemies and stuff like that. A lot of people, you guys see my boss battle fights that I put up there. Yeah, that's me. I'm like 10 levels, 12 levels higher than the expected level to fight this boss. You know what I mean? A lot of people have been asking me, yo, is the game easy? Yeah, J Bar, is the game easy? I'm gonna break that down and let you guys know the real deal. Evander Holyfield. Yo, Persona, what is good, man? What is good? So yeah, like I said, I'm 20 hours into Ni no Kuni. I'm at chapter 4. Believe it or not, people like 20 hours. Yeah, chapter 4. Yes, I've been grinding. I told you. This is how an OG, does it when they play these RPGs, man. You know what I mean? We grind out here. I like to be very strong before I hit like certain boss levels. And especially with Ni no Kuni, especially like the first game. The first game, you could be grinding. You got to like level 50. But when you get to that end game, oh, if you ain't hiding no level 50 or plus, oh, you're gonna get demolished. So I already know how these games are especially Ni no Kuni. I didn't even get to like the other islands yet, you know what I mean? So I know for sure there's gonna be some enemies. You're gonna see level 60. You're gonna see some level 70 bad boys. So I need to get this level up right. You know what I mean? But yo, we're gonna break it down. We're gonna break down my first impressions in certain areas. As far as like, I don't even think I have to even talk about graphics and stuff like that, because you already see the game. The game is beautiful. Studio Ghibli, they did it again. Level 5, they did it again. If you thought Ni no Kuni 1 was just a beautiful, sculptured masterpiece of animation, you know what I mean? Ni no Kuni 2 takes that bad boy out the cake. Ni no Kuni 2 literally put the graphics on the football stand and kick it right into the field goal when you're comparing the game, as it should. You know what I mean? It's coming out like 5. When Ni no Kuni 1 came out back in 2012 or 11? No, I think around 11, probably like 10 or 11, around there. So yeah, it's been a long ass time for the second Ni no Kuni, man. But yeah, the graphics in this game, top notch. The animations, top notch. Sometimes when you watch some of these cutscenes, it's like, yo, and especially if you have a pro, and especially if you have a pro and you have a 4K TV and you're looking at this game in HDR 4K, sheesh. Just beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It is beautiful, man. I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? And even when you go back to play, Ni no Kuni 1, that game still is gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like I could play Ni no Kuni 1, go back to that joint. I was playing it the other day, and I'm looking at it like, damn, this game is still beautiful. You know what I mean? Oliver running around, you know what I'm saying? This game is beautiful. But Ni no Kuni 2 definitely a better looking game, as it should be. It's a new game in the franchise. So we got graphics. We're gonna do like the sound. You know what I mean? Talking about like sound, the quality of the sound and stuff like that. Because I'm a sound whore. When I go with the sound, I'm bringing up music as well. We're gonna talk about story. We're gonna talk about combat, the battle mechanics, and we're just gonna talk about pacing. You know what I mean? So those are the things we're gonna talk about in this impression. This is not a review. Yes, I'm 20 hours in, but I'm not reviewing. I ain't beat the game yet. I'm not even close to beating the game. Ni no Kuni 1, I put in like 90 hours in that game to get my character to like level 90 to be comfortable to beat that game. You know what I mean? So I know I'm not even close to beating the game as far as how I play. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be rushing through this game. I'm going to be definitely leveling up because, like I said, Ni no Kuni 1, you had to level up. There was a certain area in Ni no Kuni 1, I forgot what it's called, where you can just run back and forth, and I grinded that for like good 4 hours until I was like level 70 something. Till I got to the White Castle where the White Witch was at, and I was grinding there. You know what I mean? Then I got to level 80. Then it was crazy. Ni no Kuni 1, man. So I can't wait for this one in here. But yeah, so graphics. The graphics look great. You know what I mean? Just for what it is, RPG game. I'm not saying that it's gonna be like no God of War type of graphics, but yo, it is top notch animation done by Studio Ghibli, and they knocked it out of the park. If you guys ever seen a Studio Ghibli movie, you know what I'm talking about. This looks as good as those movies. You know what I mean? When you just, like I said, when you watching some of these cutscenes, like, yo, am I watching like am I in a movie theater? You know what I mean? The joint is crazy, man. The joint is crazy. My man Priscilla said, yeah, I'm grinding right now. Exactly. Yo, Robin McLeod, we're gonna talk about so many Expo guys signing. Nah, not in this video. Not in this video. This is the straight Nino Kuni 2 impressions video, man. That's coming up later though. That's coming up later. And be ready for the return after Council podcast. We probably touch up on that as well. But back to Nino Kuni 2. So second thing we're going to talk about is sound. Let's talk about sound before we get into story. So the sound in this game is picture perfect, just like the first game. The first game captivated you with the music, grabbing you. You know what I mean? It just grabs you. Even the atmosphere when you're walking around in some of these towns. There's the gold paw. I love the music in the gold paw, yo. I'm over here chilling in the gold paw. Yeah, I was like, yo, this is hot, man. You know what I mean? When the battle music is dope. When you're running around in some of like the quote unquote dungeon areas, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's raining on you because you're being uplifted by the music. You know what I mean? Like the music is dope in this game, man. Just like in Nino Kuni 1, this music is dope as hell. You know what I mean? So music is top notch. You know what I mean? So we got the graphics, the animations top notch, music top notch. You know what I mean? That I don't think anybody had anything to worry about when it came to those two aspects of Nino Kuni 2. I'm saying you was joking. Yo, but let's get into story. Let's get into story. And let me sip this vitamin water. As you guys can still hear, I'm a little sick still. And I'm still trying to recover, man. I'm actually off the whole week. Like little vacation, but also, you know, getting better. You know what I mean? Because I had a bad fever. You know what I mean? Like, yo, my fever was crazy. And I was telling them, like, listen, I'm going to take this week off because, yo, this fever definitely knocked me out. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, yo, you can still hear it. I found congested and all that stuff. Yo, Aunt Rose, that's, you know what I mean? When you get up to, you know what I mean, the seniority out there, man, you can just do things like that, man. Yo, my man Aunt, what's good, bro? That's my man Aunt right there, yo. I ain't see Aunt in like 20 years, man. My man came back to the reunion. But yeah, man, so yeah, story-wise, I'm gonna say this. Story-wise, Nino Kuni 2 is much more on a I can't even use the word mature, but I can say like it's not as whimsical as one. You know, part one, you know, you as Oliver, you played as this little boy where he had the ability to fix people's hearts. So you know what I mean? So like one of the main goals in Nino Kuni 2 was you walking around restoring people's hearts. So if somebody was like they didn't have any like drive or no ambitions, you was restoring their heart back and giving that person that drive back. Somebody didn't have any love or compassion, you will restore their heart back to give them love and compassion and all that stuff. That's just a little main cusp of the story. Then you have the Dark Jinn that was Oliver's like other half. Well, you got to explain the real world and his Nino Kuni world. You know what I mean? Those worlds intersect with each other, where in the real world, you can have somebody like Oliver, the little boy, but in Nino Kuni, he has like a second dimension. You know how Marvel or DC, they have like a other world or, you know, a multiverse, something like that. And there's like a different Batman, or there's a different like Flash or something like that. That's how Nino Kuni was like. So there was this Dark Jinn. What was his name again? pretty much he was just an older Oliver, and that's another part of the story of Nino Kuni 1. But Nino Kuni 2, they eliminated all of that process right there, where you have this character named Roland. They showed a little bits of Nino Kuni 1 with Roland. He is like the president of like the real world, we could say our world, and some mysterious reason he been transported to Nino Kuni. You know what I mean? Where him and Oliver, they become friends and companions, help Oliver escape this coup that was going on. I'm not Oliver, but Evan. Because Evan was going to be the king of Ding Dong Dell. He was supposed to rule the land over there. And there was a coup by the Rat Clan. We're going to call it the Rat Clan just to simplify it. And then they took over. And Roland mysteriously came right there in the middle of this coup and helped Oliver escape. So you're like, oh, but you just said that in Nino Kuni 1, Oliver was going around, help Evan escape, not Oliver. So users like Oliver was going around, helping people heal their hearts. Well, in Nino Kuni 2, you're not doing that. The cusp of Nino Kuni 2 is now you as Evan is to build your own kingdom. You know what I mean? So you're going around helping other people, bringing people into your kingdom, and you build your kingdom up manually, and you're going to be ruler of this kingdom. And it's like I said, I don't want to use mature, but it's not as just like this fairy tale kind of thing like how Nino Kuni 1 was. And I love Nino Kuni 1. I love it. I love Nino Kuni 1 to death. Like I said, I put 90 something hours in this game, and I still want to go back and play it just to get more trophy, probably platinum it one day. But Nino Kuni 2 story, it just moved. The pacing of that story just moves so much faster, and it gravitates you much quicker than 1, because one has a very heart touching opening. You know what I mean? That opening right there in part 1, very heart touching. You know what I mean? It would definitely have you tearing up a little bit, if you get into it like that. You know what I mean? But it was definitely a slow build up into the main cusp of the story of him going around healing the hearts and learning to be this wizard and all that stuff. And 2 is not as slow as 1, but it gives you all the information much faster. You're just like, you already in that. In 2, I was already in the open world, and I was fighting. I was like, I'm looking at the hours. I'm like, damn, this is only 2 hours in. You know what I mean? In Nino Kuni 1, it was about 10 hours in before you was really getting into the main cusp of the story. You know what I mean? I was like, not saying that it was bad or anything, but 2 was just 2 story is just like, 2 stories just like amazing, man. What he said, I'm not even looking at. I'm not even looking at what. Oh, Kev, what's good, man? Kev asking, should he get it? Of course he should get it. Jordan's dope. The game is dope, my dude. Time to kill the Mice Clan. Yeah, the game is dope, but 2 is like, the story is just much faster and it's just much more gratifying earlier. Like, I'm playing 2 and I'm just amped, Even in 2 also have like a heart touch moment in there. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's not as similar to 1, but it's kind of similar, where somebody that this person cared for ends up, something bad happened to that person, and you just like, that's crazy. But it's not as heart touching as 1, because with 1 it was Oliver and his mom. You know what I mean? That's 2 completely. That's his mom's. You know what I mean? They give it a little backstory to moms and help him with the car and the truck and all. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. But 2, definitely captures you early. But I love the pacing of 2 story, where you know what I mean. You're building your kingdom, and the way how the mission structures go into you doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna be helping other people. Like they're gonna send you on little like fetch quest missions and all that stuff. But it flows really well into everything. And then let's go. I don't wanna spoil the story for anybody. Because I really want people to actually sit down and actually play the game themselves. You know what I mean? Enjoy it. But I'm 100% sure, people would like this story, especially if you like Nino Kuni one story. You're gonna like this story a lot as well. You know what I mean? It's not like it's gonna be like, oh my god, it's so much of a difference. Nah, it's a different set. It's a different like story, but the way how it paces, not paces, but the little set pieces in there is kind of similar, but the pacing is much quicker. Yo, AG the Great, man, with a $2 donation, man. What is good? It's a good game so far. Yo, T man, what is good, man? What is good? What is good? What Ant talking about? Yo, I'm at chapter 4 right now. I'm on chapter 4. Where chapter 4, that's pretty much where the game even opens up a little bit more, where you get a whole bunch of like side quests. And one thing I always love about Nino Kuni games and their side quests, it's not like they side quests is like this redundant checklist kind of side quest. Some side quests needs to be done before you can even unlock the other side quests. It's very old school way of doing a game where some of these newer RPGs, they just have a whole list of side quests that's listed there. And know what I'm saying, you can just go pick them up whenever. But Nino Kuni, like say you're doing a side quest, I'm just making it up. Like say there's side quest number 5, right? If you don't do 2 or 3, it's gonna be hard for you to do 5 because you're probably gonna need a certain material to get that quest complete that character needs. But you need to do 2 and 3 first, so you can unlock to try to get those materials. You know what I mean? And Nino Kuni 1, Nino Kuni 2, they also play the whole kingdom building into getting some of these items, because you got to do your research. You know what I mean? Like you got to build up certain like stores or certain like buildings, and then do your research and then build and craft the certain materials they need. And the things that I love about it is that they don't hold your hand. You know what I mean? The first little mission, they tell you like, oh, go build up the magic place, and then research to learn bridge. You know what I mean? They tell you that. They you know what I'm saying? They give you that. They give you that. They hold you in your hand on that area. But there's gonna be side quests that they're not holding your hand. They're not telling you. You got to actually look up what each building does, what they can research, and then that's like, oh, that's how I can get the item. So I can do this side quest that leads into that side quest. And yo, the joint is just crazy. I love that shit, man. I love that shit when it comes to Nino Kuni 2. Nino Kuni 1 was good as well, because Nino Kuni 1, you can pretty much get messed up in Nino Kuni 1, and you could get lost, because if you give like say somebody needs like the kindness heart, right? But you only have like 2. If you give the wrong person that heart in the wrong timing, it can mess you up for all your side quests in Nino Kuni 1, man. You know what I mean? That Nino Kuni 1 was a little bit more hardcore when it comes to side quests, especially like the hearts joint. But Nino Kuni 2 is much more fleshed out when it comes to the side quests and all that. But I love it though. I love it. Let's get into the combat, because I see my man T Man here, my man Ant is in here. Let's get into the combat, okay? Because on Twitter we was having a little back and forth, where a lot of people were saying Nino Kuni 1 combat is better than 2, which they're full of shit. And I'm about to break it down why they're full of shit. A lot of people say, oh, Nino Kuni 2 combat is too easy. It's too easy. Like part 1 was hard. Part one combat was not hard at all. Part 1, I love part 1's combat, but it was very tedious at times, because all right, let me explain part 1 to people that if you didn't play part 1. Part 1 combat, you had like a Pokemon-esque type combat, where you go around and you could try to, you know what I mean, capture, not really capture, but you pretty much can try to turn these familiars over to help you on your side. Pretty much like capturing these familiars, right? Where once you capture that familiar, they can work for you and they can fight for you. So in part one, as Oliver, you send out the familiar, and the familiar, when the familiar is out, they're doing auto attacks, right? As you run around, they're doing auto attacks until you tell them to do like a special attack where you got to level up for it, right? Uh so with part one, you send out your familiar, they doing auto attacks until you get enough MP, you could do the special attack and do what you got to do. But also you can also, but in part one, they also have a little caveat where that familiar, you have like a stamina bar where you can't have that familiar out there too long. You know what I mean? Because it would be pretty much OP if you had, especially when if you level up your familiars and all that stuff, it would pretty much be OP if you just had them out there too long. So you have to call them back, and then you get into this like cat and mouse type game, especially if you don't have your spells. You know what I mean? You're just running around. And that's why I felt like part one was to me. I like the combat, but it was more just like a running around until I get my familiars, stand them back up, get out my familiars, and then they do the attacking for me. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was cool. But when you compare two combat to one combat, completely two different types of style here. Two is obviously meant for more fast-paced, stylish combat, right? You're not doing auto attacks like in one. I see a lot of people, they bash other games for auto attacks, but here they say Ni no Kuni 1 combat is better than 2. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You don't even know what you're talking about. Sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? But Ni no Kuni 2 combat, I love the combat. A lot of people say it's easy. I get it. You know why it's easy? Because it's much more fluid. Okay, it's much. Go and play Ni no Kuni 1 right now. I guarantee you're gonna be running around as Oliver or whoever. You're gonna be running around. You're gonna be throwing little magic, just like you could throw magic like in Ni no Kuni 2. You know what I mean? You're gonna throw that until you have enough MP. You build up your MP, and especially in Ni no Kuni 1. Once you have Morning Star, it was a wrap. You didn't even need the familiars no more. Once I got Morning Star, and when I beat the Dark Jinn, I got his magic. I forgot what it's called. It was like some black magic. When I got that, it was a wrap. I didn't even use the familiars like that no more. You know what I mean? Like basically, I had about like 5 or 6 familiars that I would have in my rotation that I would level up crazy. But once I got that Morning Star, I was like, why do I need you? Yo, Morning Star would obliterate any enemy like one or two hits. Boom. You're dead. Boom. You don't know. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yo, I loved it. It's great. But when I look at 2, then I look at, even though I'm still early in 2, I don't know if they're gonna have some OP type magic. 2 just feels more personal. You know what I mean? Where I'm doing attacking here. I'm going in, I'm slashing up. I'm mixing around what magic or special moves I want to put in, just like you do the familiars. You know what I mean? The thing is, a lot of people is bashing it, but you're doing everything the familiars do outside of the auto combos in 2. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, if you like one combat but you don't like 2, I'm confused because it's like a contradiction. Everything that you're doing, you're just not a familiar that's doing it. You know what I mean? I get people that like the Pokemon aspect. I like that, you know what I'm saying? I get it. I like it a lot too, where you know what I mean, you have your familiar and you're actually giving them treats. It's not like you're training them or anything like that. You're just giving them treats to build up your heart level, and then leveling them up, and then you can pretty much like evolve them. You know what I mean? I thought that concept was cool as well. But the thing is, a lot of people don't understand. You kind of doing the same thing with the Higglies. When you get the Higley researcher, when you get Aunt Martha, and you start researching the Higglies and all that stuff, and you're cooking these bad boys up, you know, you're kind of doing the same thing. The Higglies don't do the same actions as like the familiars, but they kind of do, because they also have auto attacks. And then they also have a special attack where if they have a circle around them, you go in there and press X, and then you go back in and do what you got to do, and they're gonna come back and assist you with that like special attack. And yo, it's just boom, obliteration. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I'm having mad fun. Listen, listen, like I said, I've been doing a lot of grinding in this game. Like people's hit me up like, damn, Bari, yo, you beating these bosses in like 50 seconds. Look at my level. I'm playing the third boss. The third boss is a requirement to be like level 14 or like 15 or something like that. I was already like level 25 when I was fighting it. That's how much I enjoy the battle system. I'm not saying I don't enjoy one battle system, because one, I'm basically as powerful, in one as well. When I was supposed to be, level 20 to fight a certain boss, I was like level almost 30 something, 40. You know what I mean? In one. That's how I do it when I play this type of game. But yeah, exactly. The freedom they give you in this game of how you want to perform, you know what I mean, is dope. And the thing is, it's not even OP, because you're also being on a gauge where I forgot what it's something with a V they call it. Is it Veil? I don't think it's called Veil, but I don't think where each weapon you have like a percentage that builds up. Once that weapon percentage builds up, that's when you can get like the maximum effort off that weapon. You know what I mean? And then you have your magic bar that also fills up and depletes when you use the magic. You know what I mean? That little circle, that little blue circle by your name that, probably a lot of people didn't notice. That's your magic bar. When that joint is depleted, is that you can't, when you press R2, you can't do any magic attacks. You can't do any special attacks. Yeah, because you got to wait till that build up a little bit. Even if you have 100% on your weapons and you don't have no magic, you can't use your special attack. You're going to be hearing that. You know what I mean? So right in the beginning, if any RPG in the beginning of the game, you always going to be the slashing. This is an action RPG. I'm not talking about like a turn-based RPG. I know there's going to be some dumb motherfucker that's going to be like, hey, but in this game back in the day, you could have do that. Two different types of style of games. You know what I mean? And they also brought back the golden ball that my man Drippy would throw at you, but now it's Lofty. He throws it at you. It's not as OP as the golden ball, like Drippy would throw in part 1. But this one, if you get that ball, you can do unlimited magic or limited special attacks in a certain time period, which is kind of crazy. The one thing I can say about the battle system that I don't like, and it's not a typical like battle system thing, but in part 1, I'm pretty sure where if you saw like two enemies and they were chasing at you, like when they combine, I think they got like a certain like an aura. If I'm probably thinking about a different game, and the enemies would get probably a little stronger. I don't know if that's Nina Kuni 1 or I'm thinking about a different game, yo. Cause I'm pretty sure that's a Dragon Quest thing, probably. I'm probably thinking about Dragon Quest. But I'm pretty sure, like, in one where if two enemies combine, they got like a little stronger or something like that. Is that Nina Kuni I'm talking about? Oh no, that was Tales. That's Tales. The Tales games does that. Which I kind of wish that this game did it as well. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like when that Manticore enemy comes and then you see like another fairy type enemy come and they're coming at you, I wish they would combine the both strength of those enemies and they will attack you. You know what I mean? Also, there's another thing that people got to understand when it comes to battle mechanics in this game. It's not just about hacking and slashing in this game. You know what I mean? You got to check your weapon and the attributes that it gives you. Like some weapons give you fire damage. Some weapons give you water damage. Some weapons put people to sleep. But also, you know what I mean? You got to watch that. Then you got to watch your, you know what I mean? If you want to do your whole skills and stuff, you can switch out your skills. Right now, I have King Spin, Fireball, Water Balloon, and Cut and Thrust for my character when it comes to Evan. Also, if you think the game is a little too easy, what the game presets you with is when your weapons get to 100, the game automatically has you as auto switching. So if you want more of a personal tactile feel, you probably want to set that to manual switching. So the game doesn't switch every time your weapon the more percentage your weapon builds up, is going to switch over to that weapon, making it a little bit easier for you in the battle mechanics. So if you want to switch that over, when you go into your character, when you go to equipment and skill, and you see the weapons, you press L3 until you get to manual. You know what I mean? You can set it to manual, semi-automatic, or automatic. I don't know if anybody had it as manual, but I have all my stuff as manual. You know what I mean? Your Enko say he on chapter 5. Yo, Leo, what's good, man? Is Leo? Let me say this. Part 2 is not more casual than part 1, but part 2 is much more streamlined, especially when it comes to battle mechanics, right? But I'm about to tell you, because a lot of people gonna be like, "Oh my God, J Bar, you're wilding." Part 1 is definitely more, non-casual than 2. I'm about to break it down for you guys here. There's something in this game called Tactic Tweaker. Okay, you know how in part 1 you can set your characters to however you want them to attack certain ways and stuff like that. Well, in this game, it kind of took that away, but it gave you this thing called Tactic Tweaker. So now when you go into like different areas, you can pretty much set up how your characters want to attack or what attribute bonuses you want your characters to have in specific areas. So if you don't tweak your tactics in certain areas, like say you have an area where you're fighting a whole bunch of like fairy monster and nature monsters, and you have everything to set to like dragons and these jelly monsters, you're not going to get the most out of your characters. You know what I mean? It's not going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be hard. It might be hard if you're fighting like one of those crazy aura bosses or enemies. Matter of fact, go. What level you guys are at right now? Go and fight one of those enemies, the dark aura enemies, and then come back to me. He's like, "Oh, Nina Kuni battle mechanics is easy. Go and fight that enemy right there with the aura." I'm pretty sure you guys are at chapter 4 where you can do your quest now. What quest is it? Let me see what quest it is. Oh, a favor for Nubai. You're supposed to be recommended level 28. Go ahead and fight that. Do that quest. Do that quest at level 28. I dare you. The tainted enemies. Yeah, I dare you. Go ahead and fight that tainted enemy at level 28. And see what happens to your ass. Talking about the game is easy. The game is easy. I'm telling you, man, yo, when you get up in Ni no Kuni, especially in the later areas, it's gonna be a grind. If you're not leveling up, if you're not at specific levels or higher, you will be struggling in this game. It's however you want to make it, man. I'll say one definitely had a little bit more. One isn't as streamlined as 2 is. Like 2, somebody can pick this up if they have the things to auto switching and all that shit. You can have a good time in 2. In 1, it doesn't have none of that. 1 is like, yo, you gonna play the game or not? You know what I mean? But one I would say, I can't say 1 is harder, but so far in the beginning, I would say 1 is definitely harder. But once you get into the whole skirmishes, there was a skirmish that you're supposed to be level 5 in, and I was level 5 in that skirmish, and that jump took me like good 2 tries. No, it was like 3 tries to actually beat that skirmish, because dudes was just coming up and surprising me and attacking me. I'm like, what the hell's going on in this skirmish, man? You know what I mean? I'm thinking this jump is going to be light work, but it wasn't. It definitely wasn't. The game is 80 hours to plat. I'm probably gonna play this game more than 80 hours. I know that for sure. I'm probably, because part 1, I don't have the plat for part 1, but I'm 90 hours into that game. Because like I said, I was just leveling up. You know what I mean? In part 1. Part 1, my character is like level 95 in the game. In part 1. Oliver is level 95. Yo, I could cast Morningstar to any character in the game right now in part 1, and you're dead. Outside the Colosseums. In the Colosseums, it don't matter what level you at in the Colosseum. When you get to like a certain part in the Colosseum, it's still going to be a little difficult. But all I'm saying is like, yo, I favor part 2's battle mechanics over 1. It's just a completely better battle mechanic in every way. I can guarantee you, anybody that loads up 1, I'm not saying 1 is a bad game or the battle mechanic is not bad at all. I'm not saying that at all, but I can guarantee Everybody in one plays the same way, the same exact way. You're gonna be running around. Call out your familiar, you do your little attacks, pop, 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 bring that bad boy back out, you know what I mean, until you get your stamina back up for that familiar. There's probably going to be another familiar that you don't really use that much like that, but you have them back into the party because you want them to level up. So you're probably not even going to call that familiar out because that familiar is not even like strong against this enemy. So what you're going to be doing is just going to be running around until that shit's back up. Call that familiar back out and let's do the damage. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad at all. There's definitely some sort of strategy you got to do with it. But when it comes to 2, I was just doing way more stuff that I already from the rip than I was doing with 1, even to the end game. You know what I mean? 1, it was all about learning them spells and leveling up your familiars or evolving them. You know what I mean? Which was great. It was satisfying. It's definitely that Pokemon-esque feel. But 2 is just a way better battle mechanic than 1. Hands down. Hands down. Anybody want to dispute that? Let me know. You're not going to win the battle. You won't win the war. That's a guarantee. But also, there's just so much you can do in part 2. You have the skirmishes. You got the building your kingdom. And now you have these skirmishes. So you walk around in the world where you're going to see this little flag, and you pretty much got to defend or fight for this area within this land or whatever. And it could go from like bandits to like small little enemies. And some of them gets really difficult, man. Like I said, I was doing this level 5 one. I don't know if you guys did the same one yet, but it had me struggling a little bit, man. Where I failed twice. You know what I mean? This is coming from me not failing any skirmish that I did. And then I did this skirmish, like, level 5? Let's get it. I'm playing the jump. I'm like, you failed. I'm like, damn, I failed. You failed. I'm like, damn, I failed. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, let me be a little bit more tactical here where I gotta learn where I gotta boost my morale or learn when I can restore my troops. It gets up there, man. It gets up there with the skirmishes. But with part 2 as well, you get like a lot of different weapons very quickly. You know what I mean? Where you could get like a nice, like sword that you like that does like fire damage. And then later on, you fight an enemy and you get a random like red item that comes up, and you will get like another fire weapon that does even more damage. But you gotta look at the charge rate. So each weapon has like a charge rate where you can get an A, a B, a C, a D, so on. So some weapons can be really strong in the attack and be like critical and fire, but it might have like a weak charge rate. It might be like a D, you know what I mean? Where that veil, or I forgot what name for the percentage, it takes a little longer to build up. Where you have the other weapons that it might not be as great for attack, but it does have that attribute probably to put somebody to sleep or poison that person. But that charge rate is mad quick. You know what I mean? So I like the charge rate weapons because I like to see them hundreds, and I manually switch. So I'm switching over and I'm just attacking. You know what I mean? Yeah, you get a lot of weapons quickly, man. You get a lot of weapons quickly. Even the ranged weapons. In part 1, you didn't get the ranged weapons like that quickly. You was getting your wands, you was getting your bow and arrows. What was Shorty had? I think she had a bow and arrow, and my man had like a gun, but not as quick as this one. This one, they say, hey, take that. You micromanage what you want your people to do. But I love the tactic tweaker. I love the tactic tweaker in this game. I feel like it just gives you more micromanagement. And I'm a person. One thing I love RPGs for is the micromanagement. If you have like a stuff like great micromanagement where I can stay in the menu and work out how I want my character to build up to, I automatically you already won me over in that RPG. You know what I mean? So I feel like outside of games like what's that game called? That's like a poem. I love that game. Child of Light. That game had no micromanagement. You just playing through that jump, but it was fun. That game was good. Then you have to muster your forces. where that's the I'm level 7 on my forces right now. I don't remember getting to that. But yeah, man, I love this game. Battle mechanics. The quest is very similar. So yo, you gotta be careful when you do some of the quests. I say in this game, let's try to do it more in order. Like in part one, there's times where you doing quest number 54, then you could be able to do quest number 8. You know what I mean? This one, it seems a little bit more streamlined, but it's very familiar. Where if you don't do this part, or if you don't micromanage and build your kingdom up to get these type of weapons or research, you won't certain quests won't unlock for you. You know what I mean? Uh, so yeah, like there's a quest right now, number 6. If you're at chapter 4, number 6 is like Pai Chi, the skillful street steamstress. That quest right there, you won't be able to even do that quest unless you research and build up like your store. And I think you got to do like quest number like 11, so you could get that item to give it to this girl, so she could come to your town. You know what I mean? So stuff like that I love about Nino Kuni. Your video game lover, what's good, man? What is good? Stuff like that I love about Nino Kuni. You know what I mean? I love that stuff about Nino Kuni. Um, what else? What else? What else? The Higglies. Let's get into the Higglies now, man. Let's get into the Higglies. Everybody's like, what the hell are these things? Where's my familiars? The Higglies. I like the Higglies. Do I like them more than the familiars? I can't say that right now, but I like the Higglies because they're more interactable as far as even when you're just traveling around exploring. You have like if you have the wind one, you know what I mean, they cast a little wind magic and you do the little whirlwind to get up in there into other areas, which is cool. It's not like it's great or nothing, but it's cool. It gives you more interaction with these people, these things. Where with the familiars, your basically interaction with the familiars is just when you go into your menu, you see them in the cage, you give them candy. Whichever candy they like, the heart is gonna grow more. You know what I mean? You just want to keep growing that heart, keep growing that heart, keep growing that heart, and they level up, and you can morph them with the other candy and all that stuff. With this game, you pretty much like cook Higglies to make them. Uh, they have these little cost things on here. I'm not too sure on the costings, but that's going to go into more after you do the research with Art Martha, because you have like a Higley cost, and it's up to 10 points that you have. So I'm going to be assuming that there's going to be much more powerful Higleys that cost more, and you got to micromanage that as far as who you want in your Higley party. You know, I mean, currently right now I got 4. I got the white one, the blue one, the wind one, and the dark one. That's 4 points. They only level 1. So I'm pretty sure, when you do the research and when you explore more, or when you feed that little stone to get these other Higglies, they're gonna do much more or be much stronger in leveling up. Or you could probably even evolve these guys. I'm not sure yet. I ain't get to that part. This is called the first impressions. You know what I mean? But yo, I am definitely loving this game, man. I am loving this game to death. I think this game is amazing, just like the first one. And I really do feel if you like the first one, you will like this one. There's going to be a lot of people going around here that didn't even play this game yet, telling you that the first one is better, which is insane. And a lot of people is probably going to listen to those people. But I'm telling you, if you like the first one, you definitely like this game. There's no way I can't see that if you like the first one, you don't like this game. If you don't like this game, that means you ain't like the first one. And if I catch you out there, I'm going to expose it. I'm going to expose it. Facts. But anyways, Nino Kuni 2, first impressions. It's amazing. It's great. Go and buy the game. It should be a day one purchase. I don't even know why the hell you don't have this game yet. I think you're insane if you don't. If you do like RPGs and you like these kind of games, I don't know how in God's name you don't have this game yet, unless it's like something really, really personal. Then hey, I understand that. But if you enjoy these type of games and you don't have it yet, you are crazy. Let's get it together. And let's get. Oh, they even total your jumps. I had 571 jumps. I had 29.95 miles walked and ran. Yo, Sea of Thieves over Ni no Kuni 2. Facts. Sea of Thieves is game of the year. And you should be playing Sea of Thieves over Ni no Kuni 2. That's just a fact. Damn, I already have 1 million damage inflicted on enemies. Tell you, man, I love this game, man. I'm loving this game. But I'm about to get back and playing it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. But I really do feel if you guys get this game, you will enjoy it as much as I am doing it, or anybody else that's enjoying the game. Yeah, man. I just think it's a great game. So when I do complete the game, I will give a review for it. I'll probably do an actual review for it. I'll probably do one of my, up close and personal, where you see the game screen review for it. You know what I mean? Keep it traditional. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, Ni no Kuni 2 potential game of the year. Yo, Ni no Kuni 2 right now is there for me. Ni no Kuni 2 was definitely like one of my most anticipated games for this year. Matter of fact, even last year, because last year is when I did the article as far as like most anticipated games to come out. RPGs, top 5 RPGs most anticipated, and it got delayed and delayed and delayed to this year. And this is one of my like most anticipated games to come out, man. It's finally here, man, and I'm playing it. So I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited. But I'm about to get back into the game. I'm about to relax, sit back, relax, and have some fun with it. I'm gonna progress a little bit more into the story and do these side missions now that I'm level 32, so I should be all right. But I do see enemies that's like level 29 now and 28, so I don't like it too close to my level. You know what I mean? But we'll do some more grinding. But anyways, man, hopefully you guys are enjoying the game. Hopefully I broke down stuff a little bit reasonable or clear for you guys to understand why I think certain aspects are better in this game than part one. But I'm not knocking part one at all, because part one is like one of my favorite games, especially for PS3. It's like the best RPG last generation. I don't give a fuck about no Blue Dragon. What's the other games that they talk about on Xbox? I don't care. Ni no Kuni is the best RPG last generation, hands down. You know what I mean? And this game right here, so far 20 hours in, it is definitely on the same path, you know what I mean, as far as favorite games to go, this generation. But let me know your thoughts, comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on Twitter. You know what I mean? And don't get butthurt if I'm going back and forth with you. I'm just very passionate. You know what I mean? When I talk about games, I get passionate. So don't get butthurt. We just going back and forth. I'm not attacking you. I'm not doing anything. We just going back and forth, people. So yeah, man. It's the boy Jay Barry. Still congested. Still a little sick. But I'm gone. Deuces. Hold on. Let's turn it up. Let's turn it up. Let's turn it up. I'm gone. That's a little ghetto. I'm gone. I'm gone now. I'm gone. Deuces. I'm gone.